Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we have an application that we can run now. So what I'll do is, this is my point of sale. That's the folder that we got from PHP desktop. So in the www folder, I'm going to remove everything. So I'm just going to delete every PHP file in here, and that's about it. Then what I'll do is I'm going to go to my htdocs folder where I have my point of sale application here, and then I'm going to copy the app and public folder from there. So I'm just going to copy these two. Of course, I don't want to delete completely because etc. etc. Let me go to, where am I going here? www folder. Okay, so this is in the my point of sale application, and I'm going in the www folder and paste that. So now that I've moved all my files here, we may want to run this, but the problem is the landing folder is the www folder. So if I go a step back like this and I try to open this, this is what will happen. It's just going to show the index of, and then there's a public folder, but then if I click the public folder, it's going to open my application. But I don't want it to do that, because if I do this, this is what I get, index of every time. So instead, let's change a few settings here and tell it that we have changed our base folder from the settings. So that settings.json down here, and let's look at web server. And right here it says www directory. Let's put a slash there, and then let's put public. So now that becomes our landing page, which is awesome. So let's save that, and once we save, let's go back and let's open it this time. This is what we get: access denied. I don't know why it does this, but what it should do is redirect me to the login page. If access is denied on the on the home page, it should take me to the login page so I can log in instead of giving me this. So let's start editing that. Now, from now on, what we're going to do is we're no longer going to edit the one that is inside our XAMPP. We're going to instead edit the version that is in here. And yes, so what I'll do here now is drag this folder, the www folder, into Sublime Text. Boom, like that. And so now we have two folders. This is the original, and this is the www version, which is on the application. So now I can still edit my PHP files from here without a problem. So what I want to do now is change a few things. So let me close, I don't even know what these are. These are files from there. Okay. So to avoid editing the wrong files, I'm going to close everything from the other point of sale and start opening from the www version now. So what I want to do is go to controllers, and I'm going for the home page. So here what this does is, wait, we've got this going on. Okay, so access cashier, views path, home, else you need to be logged in, access denied. Okay, so in this case we want to redirect the user. So how are we even redirecting anyway? Let's see, when we log in, how do we redirect a user? So we use that redirect home, right? So let's copy that, come back to the home controller. Where is that home controller? And once we have that, we will paste here and redirect to the login page. Great. So that's in the home controller. So what this does is when we open the page, it takes us to the login page. Okay, so there we go. So login, point of sale. So now keep in mind that because if I go to the database folder, where is that? In the core database, everything is connected to localhost. It knows the database and everything. It will still work just like this. just like I said, if you connect this to a web server, a live server, it will still work, while on your local machine it will still read from the database that is on the internet. So that's how you can have many of these applications on 10 computers and they're all connecting to the same database online. So that's one way you can network the computers with one application. So password, enter. Okay, so now could not load driver. It's telling me all of this. Could not load driver. Undefined variable con in here. Okay, so we have our first error. Let's see how we're going to solve this problem. So the reason it could not load driver is because, let's investigate, shall we? So I'm going to go to my files. This is our application here. And let me go to, let's see what's going on here. So because we're using PDO, right? PDO, it requires us to put a driver. And what's the driver here? That's MySQL. Okay, so that's the driver, and this is what PDO runs on. Now, we could convert this into a MySQLi connection, but I kind of like the way PDO works, so let's leave it like that. What we will do instead is go to the folder. Let's go to the folder here, and let's investigate, shall we? So if I now go to my PHP and open extension, so all these are the extensions that PHP uses. And so if I look closely here, there's PDO extension right there. So PDO does exist, so which means it's just not being loaded. Also there's GD, I hope. Yeah, there's GD. What else is there? IMAP. Oh, this is great. This is great. Okay, so cool stuff in here, but let's go out of this folder. So the extension does exist, but then we have a php.ini file. Now it looks like we have none actually. Okay, so here it looks like there's a php.ini production version and a development version. So what I'll do for the development version, I will just drag and drop it in here and see what it has. So this is the php.ini. That's the file that allows you to put settings for your PHP. Now this is the development version, which means errors will be set to display by default. So all we need to do now is do this. Let's rename these two files. I'm going to rename this one, just the development one, the dev. So let's remove the dash development. This is part of the file extension. So if you can't see this, make sure you can see file extensions and then delete that so that it remains as php.ini, just like that, without the production. Then once you deploy it, if you don't want errors to show and such, you can activate the production version. So they put these two just so you can have two versions for when you are debugging and for the production. But you can always just change the settings in here to make it production ready, which is you can disable error reporting. So I'm dropping it here. Let's see. Let's go to extensions, right? So I'm going to find a thing that some text that says extension, like so, and then put an equal sign at the end. Okay, so I'm going to look for a section that has a lot of extensions, which is right here. So as you can see, none of these extensions are active because there's a semicolon at the beginning. So if I want to activate PDO, for example, so PDO MySQL, I'll just need to remove that semicolon at the beginning. Okay, what else are we doing? We want the GD library to work because we're cropping images and we use the GD library, so I'm going to remove that. And so you need to remove as little as you need. I think we do use the exif as well. I don't know if I used it in this project, but I use that a lot as well. So I'll remove MB string as it depends on it. So maybe let's open MB string as well, since it depends on these two. If you want the MySQLi extension as well to be active, in case you'll be using MySQLi, you can remove that as well. Open SSL. Yeah, so just knock yourself out here. If for some reason you didn't open one you just get an error, and then you can come back here and check and open it if it's not active. Also, SQLite is good to use on point of sale applications, so you may want to remove that if you're using SQLite and not using MySQL. Okay, so let us save this. Let me save that. So we've saved our PHP.ini file, which means we have to load the let's go back here to this folder and let's load that again. Okay, so let's try again now. This time it should work because our PDO is active. So I'm going to do password there. Oopsie daisy. So it's not working again. Could not load driver. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's go back and make sure we have activated what we need to activate. Okay, I'm just going to activate everything that says PDO here because I don't want to come back here again. PDO SQLite, I don't think I need that, but what the heck, because I just want anything with PDO active because I don't want to keep coming back. So let's close that. Let's close that. Maybe I needed to close everything and start again because the server has to be restarted in order for things to work. We try again to see if we are lucky this time. Oh no, look at that. Okay, so all these other errors are because it just could not find the driver. It's as simple as that. Could not find driver. So that is interesting. Okay, so what I'll do for us to be able to test this quickly without having to log in is I'm going to write on the login controller. I'm just going to say, let me go back to the database and let's do this. I'm going to copy these guys and put that in the login controller. That way, right at the top there, we can see what's going on. So I'm going to remove the try. I'll leave these guys here. And then down here, I'm just going to say print readable con. Okay. All right, so that way at least it shows me what's going on even before we move on to the next page, even before I try to log in. So that's from the browser, but let me close all that. Let's come back here. Okay, so things don't seem to be working well. Let me try and see if there are some settings that I didn't look at here, because this is supposed to work, right? Let's see here. Debug, Chrome. No, this is about Chrome. The server is here. Nah, everything just looks... yeah, nah. Everything looks okay. So PHP interpreter, CGI temp dir. Okay, so you need this temp directory as well, I think. Anyway, if you don't if it can't save sessions, then you may want to put a folder name here and actually create a folder in the directory. But for now, let's leave it be. No, it doesn't look like... oh, by the way, if you want an icon file, to change the icon, you can set the path to the icon there. So if you want to change that elephant, that's how you do it, with an icon file there. Okay, so everything is relative to the main folder, which is the folder that contains the www folder. That's relative to that. So whatever name you put in there, the icon best be in that folder that contains the www folder. So that's the folder above this folder. Okay, so it seems like everything is okay here. So I'm not sure why things is not working. Okay, could not find driver. It's still having problems. So right there, MySQLi, MySQL. Okay, let's go back here. Let's investigate a little bit. So there's PHP here, there are extensions, right? And there's PDO MySQL. This is the one right here, PDO MySQL. So maybe there's a problem with the ini file. Okay, what I want to do is this. Let me try a different, let's go to login page, right at the top here. What I want to do is just say img is equal to image create from image create true color. That's the one I want. This one, image create true color. Okay, so I'll put a width of 100 and a height of 100. This should be actual numbers, not text. Okay, so I just want to see if the GD library is on, because if it's not, then I'm going to get an error there. If it is, it will just run as it should. So if I now refresh, reload, okay, so it's saying code to undefined function image create true color. Okay, so that's what I thought. So I know exactly what the error is here. So the problem is that it just can't find the directory for extensions, because I have actually activated all my extensions in here. If you look at the php.ini file, we already did that. Where did we do that? Right here. So the GD library is on. It's running right now. And the fact that it's not working, it means it just can't find this folder. So what we need to do is tell it exactly where the extensions are. And you know, I made a mistake here, because I should have used the other one to let's see here. We need to tell it where the extensions path is. So let's continue and see extension path. Extension is equal to MySQL. Loaded automatically. So that setting should be before this. Extension path. So what I'll do is I'm just going to search for extension. Just go previous here. Oopsie, too many of these, because I don't remember where the, oh, there we go, extension dir. Let's find it. Extension is equal to ext. Where are we? php ext direct link library. Okay, so it's not here. Let's go back a little bit. There should be one that says extension path. There we go. So extension dir is equal to ext. Yeah, not here. Okay, so what we would do is let's remove that as well. Bam. Let me save that so that at least we know it's in here and not the default folder there. So it's in the ext, because if we check our PHP folder, in the PHP folder it's in there. So let's test this and see if it's going to respond positively. So I'm going to open this. So you see, now we have a PDO object there, and the image thing did not create an error. So things have worked out. Very cool. I was beginning to worry there for a second. So what we can do here is remove all that. So as you can see, being a good programmer is all about knowing how to debug your problems. So if you can if you can learn to debug things, usually you learn that from experience. The better you are debugging, the better of a programmer you're going to be. So don't easily give up hope if you are getting errors and errors. Just go through one error at a time. Usually when you fix one error, it will fix the errors below it. So that's how it is there. And if you're getting errors that you're unable to finish or to figure out, just copy the error problem and then paste it online. Somebody is bound to have had that error at some point. So let's go now, email@email.com. So password, enter, and there we go. So this application, even though it's running as a Windows application right now, it's reading from the same database that this one on my browser is reading from. So if I were to add something here, it's going to show on the other side as well. So let's go to the admin and let's see that. So we have this number of cells, right? 1239. Now if I go to cells and say add new, from 1239 there, let me check out 130. Let's go. So now our cells are different. They are 1365. But let's check in this application what the difference is. So if I go to admin, you see it's 1365 as well, because they're both running from the same database. So you can have one device here running this and the other one running that, and those two work together because they're reading from the same database, as long as the connection details are the same. Okay, so from here, let's continue in the next video. At least we have something that's running, which is cool.